So your wife gives you an ultimatum. Either you go to marriage counseling separately and together, or she's going to leave you, divorce you, and never talk to you again. But the strange thing is, this dude that she told us to go to, he doesn't have like a plaque on the wall that says where he graduated. I don't even know if this guy's a real licensed therapist. And it just seems so weird. And then, meanwhile, I keep seeing microtransactions on my bank account where my wife is withdrawing money. I confront her about it and she says it's for some bill. I know she's lying. Something's up and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. You're probably wondering why I'm standing out here in the rain. Well, it's because I feel great here in the rain. And all the pain that I'm going from, I can just sit here and finally relax. Or should I say stand? Anyways, listen to my story. I don't know if anyone will read this. I'm writing it with shaky hands at 3 in the morning. I just need anyone, to understand what happened. Even if no one believes me, I need to get this out. My wife and I have been married for 7 years. The first 4 were good, really good, actually, but the last 3, a slow descent into whatever hell this is now. We stopped talking, really talking. Conversations became transaction bills, schedules, whose turn it was to call the plumber. The silence between us grew like a third person in our marriage. Always there, always watching. I tried, God knows I tried, date nights that felt forced, weekend trips where we took separate photos of the same sunset. Gifts that sat unopened on her dresser. She tried too, I guess, in her way, but something had broken between us and neither of us knew how to fix it. Then, about 3 months ago, Elaine came home from work and sat me down at our kitchen table. Her face was set in that determined way I used to find endearing. I think we should try couples therapy. The words hung in the air between us. Maybe that is a good idea. I've found someone, a therapist I think we can trust. You've already been looking? Oh, just exploring options. His name is Daniel. He specializes in relationships on the brink. She looked away like she said that part, on the brink. So that's where we're at. I agreed. What else could I do? If this was our last shot, I wasn't going to be the one to refuse to take it. But then came the first red flag. I was too desperate to see it clearly. I think we should start with individual sessions first. It'll help me open up better, she said. She said she struggles with vulnerability in front of you. Yeah, me. That stung, but I swallowed it and said, how long would we do these individual sessions for? Just a few weeks, then we'd transition into couple sessions. So that's how it began. Elaine went to her first appointment on a Tuesday evening. She came home quiet, thoughtful, and when I asked her how it went, she just said, good. He's very insightful. My first session was the following day. Daniel's office was in one of those renovated old houses downtown, with a waiting room that smelled faintly of lavender and old books. Professional, calm. When he called me in, I was struck by how normal he seemed. Mid-40s maybe, salt and pepper hair, kind eyes behind tortoise-shell glasses. He had this calm demeanor and a way of speaking that immediately put me at ease. Mark, I'm glad you're here. It takes courage to seek help. We spent the first hour talking about me, my childhood, my careers, my hopes, and he nodded at all the right moments, asked about the right questions, and I left feeling lighter somehow, like maybe this could actually work. In our second session, we started talking about my marriage. He was good, teasing out my frustrations, validating my feelings while gently challenging some of my assumptions. Communication is often the first casualty in a struggling relationship, but it's also the only lifeline you have. I nodded, feeling a strange mixture of hope, grief. This was the most honest conversation I've had about my marriage in years, and it's with a stranger. Has Elaine mentioned any specific concerns, I asked? I can't discuss Elaine's sessions, Mark. That's confidentiality. Come on. Of course, I wasn't asking for details, just a direction. All I can say is that you both seem committed to finding your way back to each other. That's more than most couples that come here. I left that day feeling cautiously optimistic. Maybe we could fix this. Maybe we could find our way back, our stride. The next few weeks fell into a pattern. Elaine had her sessions on Tuesday and I had mine on Wednesdays. We rarely discussed them beyond vague generalities like, ooh, it was good. He gave me some things to think about, but something was shifting between us. Not closer, exactly, but just different. Elaine seemed more confident, more decisive. She starts making unilateral decisions about things we used to discuss together. A kitchen remodel here, booking a vacation with her sister there, moving money between our accounts like it was a few dollars. Shouldn't we take these charges seriously? We should talk about these things, I asked one night, after discovering she's withdrawn $5,000. Oh, I'm just taking care of things that need to be taken care of that you don't do. Daniel says I need to start trusting my instincts more. Daniel says? In my next session, I tried to circle around this change. I feel like Elaine is pulling away, not coming closer, I told him. Daniel nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes in healing in a relationship, there needs to be a period of healthy independence. Elaine may be establishing boundaries she's never had before. But shouldn't couples therapy bring us together, not push us apart? Mark, may I be direct with you? Sometimes the patterns we establish in relationships become like addiction. Codependency can feel like closeness, but it's actually suffocating both parties. Elaine may need space to figure out who she is outside of your expectations. Something about his words felt rehearsed, like he was reciting lines from a script. But I nodded anyways. I mean, who was I to argue with a professional? That night, when I got home, Elaine was on the phone in her home office. The door was partially open and I could hear her laughing, a sound I have not heard directed at me in months. As I approached, I heard her voice drop lower. I know, you too. She was looking at me now, standing there, and quickly ended the call. Oh, it's just work. It's nearly 9 p.m. though. Who could you be on the phone with for work? Anyways, I just nodded and retreated to the kitchen, the doubt growing deep. Our couple sessions were supposed to start the following week. But Elaine said she needed more time in individual therapy. Daniel agreed we need to build a stronger foundation first, explaining to me in our session. Another week passes, and then another, and the guilt between Elaine and me widened. She started staying late at work, taking calls in her car, password protecting her phone even. All the classic signs, I know. I'm not stupid, but I trusted Daniel. I thought we were working towards something. I thought this was part of the process. Until last Thursday, Elaine was in the shower and I was looking for our tax documents from last year. She usually kept them organized in her home office, so I went in to search. As I was looking through her filing cabinet, I found a folder labeled simply D. Now, I don't know why I opened it. Some sixth sense maybe. Inside were photos, and I mean dozens of them. Elaine and Daniel together, not in his office, not in a professional setting, at the beach. At what looked like a cabin in the woods. His arm was draped around her waist, and his face tilted up to his laughing. The kind of easy intimacy that had vanished from our marriage years ago. The newest ones were dated just 2 weeks back. My hand shook as I replaced the folder exactly as I found it. I walked out of the office and sat on our bed, trying to process what had just happened. It could not be what it looked like. There had to be an explanation, and that night I couldn't sleep. I laid awake listening to Elaine's steady breathing beside me, this stranger that I shared a bed with for 7 years. The next morning, I called in sick to work and waited until she left. Then I did something I never thought I would do. I went through her laptop. Passwords was our anniversary, a date that clearly meant more to me than her, and what I found destroyed whatever was left of my world. Emails, text backups, notes, a digital record of their relationship stretching back nearly a year. They'd known each other in college, reconnected on Facebook last spring, and the therapy was his idea, a way to gaslight me while they planned their future together. Daniel Reeves wasn't even a licensed therapist. He had a bachelor's degree in psychology and had worked as a life coach. That's it. All the sessions, all the insight, it was manipulation. They were using my genuine desire to save our marriage as a cover for their affair. Guys, I found a document on her cloud storage drive. It said exit strategy. It outlined everything. How to gradually separate our finances, how to document my emotional instability during the therapy process, how to position herself as the reasonable party when she finally left. There were notes from their conversation, strategies for how to respond to different scenarios. If he gets suspicious, emphasize how he's struggling with trust issues. Keep records of any argument, tone, volume, exact wording if possible, and of course, avoid discussions about the future. Redirect it to the past. They had turned our marriage counseling into a psychological operation against me, and I paid for it literally and figuratively. So I printed everything, every email, every text, every strategy document, and then I drove to Daniel's house. His receptionist, a sweet elderly woman who always offered me coffee, looked up in surprise as I burst in without an appointment. "I need to see him. Now." Daniel appeared in his doorway, that practiced look of calm concern on his face. "Mark, is everything all right? Can we talk in your office?" I managed to keep my voice steady. Once inside, I dropped the stack of papers on his desk. "What the? You know what is this?" He glanced at the top of the page, and I watched the blood drain from his face, and he said, "Mark, I can explain." "Explain what? How you've been you-know-what my wife while pretending to help our marriage? How you've been coaching her on how to leave me? How you've been taking my money, $200 a session, buddy, to systematically destroy my life? Explain what?" "You're upset. I understand why, but this is not what it looks like." "Really? Because it looks like you're not even a licensed therapist. You know what that is? Fraud." A flash of something, fear, finally crossed his face. "I never claimed to be licensed. I'm a relationship coach. There's a difference, buddy. A difference that'll matter to the licensing board? To the police?" What do you want, Mark?" What did I want? I wanted the last 3 months of my life back. I wanted my marriage back. I wanted to unsee everything I have seen. I want to know this. I want you to tell me the truth. All of it. He stared at me for a long moment and then said, "Elaine and I reconnected last year. It was innocent at first, but things developed. She was unhappy, Mark, had been for years. So, you suggested this therapy charade?" He had the decency to look away and said it was a way to ease your transition away from both of us. "Bullcrap, it was to manipulate me while you two planned your lives together." Well, he didn't deny it, and I left his office, drove straight home. Elaine would not be back for hours, plenty of time to pack my things, but as I pulled into our driveway, her car was there. She must have come home early. She was sitting at the kitchen table when I walked in, and her face was pale, and she said, "Daniel called me." "Then you know." "Mark, you don't understand." Don't you dare tell me what I don't understand. I saw everything, Elaine. The photos, the emails, the exit strategy document. She flinched at the last part. "It wasn't supposed to be this way." "Oh, no. Well, how is it supposed to be, Elaine? You would string me along for a few more weeks of fake therapy and drop the bomb when all of your ducks get in a row." "I just wanted out without destroying you." I laughed at that. I laughed. I told her, "Congratulations, mission failed. Did you ever love me, or was that a lie too?" Her hesitation was the only answer I needed. I stayed with a friend that night. I called a lawyer and tried reporting Daniel to the state licensing board. But since he had never technically claimed to be a licensed therapist, just implied it, there wasn't much they could actually do. And the police said it's a civil matter, not criminal. So Elaine texted me the next day, and she said, "You're misunderstanding everything. We need to talk." So you know what I did? I blocked her damn number. That was 5 days ago, and I'm still staying with my friend. I've barely slept, barely eaten. I keep replaying every session with Daniel in my head, seeing all the subtle manipulation I missed. All the ways he was setting me up, weakening me and isolating me, using my own desire to save my marriage as a weapon against me. You want to know the worst part? It worked. He's broke something in me that I don't think I can fix. My trust is the worst in Elaine, and I don't think that can be fixed. He even broke my trust in therapy, in the idea that broken things can be mended, and the fundamental decency of people. I thought I was learning to save my marriage, and turns out I was just being taught how to lose it. And now I'm afraid I'll never stop losing things, but you know what? I'm done. I'll never see her again. Guys, that was the final post by OP. There's two comments that caught my attention in the comment section. They were arguing with each other about how the original poster handled the situation. The first one comes from a user named RelationshipSage4862, and it says this. Are you kidding me? OP handled this like a complete doormat. I'm shocked anybody's sympathizing with him. He found evidence of this massive betrayal, and what did he do? He confronted them separately and then just left? That's it, he just left. He should have exposed both of them publicly. I mean, post the receipts everywhere. Send the exit strategy document to her family, her friends, her workplace. I mean, come on. This was not just an affair. This was calculated psychological warfare. They were documenting ways to make him look unstable that could have affected custody if they had kids, his reputation, everything. Sometimes this postings here are just full of people who want to be victims. Stand up for yourself. Don't be a doormat, for goodness sake. This is not about taking the high road. Here comes the second commenter that does not agree at all. This one comes from HealingJourney_27. Wow, you're toxic. OP handled this with dignity and self-respect, which is exactly what you should do in this situation. Going scorched earth like you're suggesting would only hurt OP in the long run. Revenge fantasies might feel good in the moment, but they just keep you trapped in trauma. Plus, getting caught up in lengthy legal battles would just mean spending more time and emotional energy on people who don't deserve another second of his life. OP did the right thing, gathering evidence, confronting the betrayal directly, and then removed himself from the situation. Not everybody has to have revenge. Alright guys, let me know in the comment section down below which comment you agree with more. I need to know your opinion. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Make sure you check back daily. New video every single day. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.